Hey everyone, welcome to the Retro channel, and today another unboxing. This is another package sent over by Visi from the Netherlands. So again, thank you Visi. This time I have absolutely no idea what's inside this box. I did have a quick look at the email he sent me and he mentioned that there are 12 numbered items but no clues as to exactly what they are. So only one way to find out. Let's open this thing up. Now hopefully you can see all this in the overhead camera. It just sort of fits in frame, but I think I'll just pull everything out of the box and then we'll take a proper look at it all. All right, yes, they are numbered. Okay, so there is quite a lot here and it's very tricky to get all of this in shot, but we do have numbered items from 1 all the way up to 12. I think 6 and 7, this came off, so I'm not sure if that's 7 or if that's 7. And I didn't even find a label for 6, so I don't know which way around they're supposed to be. I guess we just start with number 1 and see what we have. Now, last time Visi sent over a Commodore 128D and a couple of 1571 disk drives along with some other little goodies. This time it looks like he's really outdone himself, so oh, this is interesting. What? It's a Commodore 128 NEO board. Wow, all right. Yeah, that is pretty damn cool. Oh, it looks beautiful. Oh, do I build this up or do I frame it? I guess we'll think about that later, but yeah, wow. That's quite a project if I go ahead and build it. Okay, very cool. Make sure there's nothing else in this one. Yep. All right. Number 2. Ballblazer for the Atari 7800. I do actually have a 7800. It's back here. I have not looked to see if it actually works yet, but at least I've got a game to try on it now. That's always good. In box and everything. Super game cartridge. There it is. It's even got the manual and everything. Pretty good condition. Number 3, a power supply of sorts. I'm not going all Dave Jones with my knife because I don't want to cut any of these things or cut myself. Okay. At first glance, it looks like a Commodore 64 power supply, but look at this plug here. That is not for a Commodore 64. It does 9 volts at 1 amp and 5 volts at 1.5 amps. So I think the 128 needs more than 1.5 on the 5 volt rail. So what does this machine belong to? Obviously, it's some kind of Commodore 8-bit machine, but not an Amiga, not a 128, not a 64. Anyone want to take a guess now? Oh, all right, this is numero 4. It's fairly heavy. It's obviously a computer of some sort. I'm going to guess some kind of MSX, but I don't know. I might be able to just slide this out. It is the Sony HB-MSX HB-75P. Oh, I don't have an MSX. I know practically zero about MSX computers, but I guess I'm going to learn now. It's got an RGB out. That's always a good sign. Video ports. Let's just remove this tape before it leaves any gummy stuff. It's left a little bit, but that'll clean off. Right, obviously I need to do something about that plug, but that's fine. Wow, okay, cool. Keyboard feels all right. It's not bad. Needs a bit of a clean, but yeah, what doesn't? Number 5 is alive. Looks like a Commodore disk drive of sorts, but a black one. So Commodore 1551. So this is the disk drive that goes with the +4 series of computers. And although I do have a Commodore 16, I think I might actually have 2, but I've never looked to see if either of them worked. I do not have the disk drive. I do have the data set though, which is a 1531. The black version of the Commodore dataset. So, yeah, cool. And what is this? Something that goes into cartridge port. Well, ignoring the tape residue, yeah, it's almost like a pass-through, and that goes straight into the disk drive. Again, I don't know anything about the Commodore 264 series or TED series or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I guess that's how the disk drive connects to the machine. And then you've got a pass-through connector in case you want to put another cartridge in there. Number 6. Looks like a little computer or something. Quite small. Ah, all right, a Sony bitcorder. Model SDC 500. I'm guessing this is the matching dataset for the MSX. Interesting that you can use it with batteries. In fact, yes, it has a 6-volt DC in, center negative. And it looks like just a few 3.5mm jacks and a smaller jack for remote load save. So this would use just analog audio in and out, and then you obviously need to adjust the load level if things are not loading, or if it even works at all. How does it open? It looks like it should. So that might need a little bit of work. I think we'll just open everything up and then we'll take a proper look at each item. So I'm not sure if that was supposed to be number 6 or number 7, or if this is number 6 or 7. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. I'm sure there is a method to the madness. What is this? Hewlett-Packard 200LX. It's like a little basic computer. Palm top, 4 megabytes of RAM. All right, so it must be sort of mid-90s maybe. Anyway, we'll come back to all this once we get it all out of the packets. Number 8. I have a sneaking suspicion what this could be. The Hertogian Grand Prestige. So a beer of sorts. I'm guessing a dark ale. 10% alcohol. That's quite a strong beer. Well, we'll have to see what it's like. Number 9. This is like high quality packing material as well. Feels like another drive. Whoop. Well, the manual falling out of there probably gave it away. A VIC 1541. So this is definitely a VIC 1541. It's pretty much the same as a regular, Commodore 1541. It came out while the VIC was still on sale, so they called it a VIC 1541, but it works with both Commodore 64 and VIC 20 machines. So there is also the Commodore 1540, which just works with the VIC 20, but this works with both machines, as do the rest of the 1541s. So, yep, very cool. Another disk drive for me to poke at, and there is a disk in here, so maybe we'll see what that's all about. Number 10. Oh, this probably should have been obvious previously, but it's 100% obvious now. Atari 7800. So yes, like I said, I do have one back there on the shelf, but I haven't tested it yet. So No idea if that works. Obviously, no idea if this works either. I'm more than happy to receive broken items. In fact, the more broken, the better, I say. Just going to get this tape off. So yes, there are some cracks in the corner, which I guess the tape was covering. And also seems to be holding this thing together. Let's tape at the front too. Ooh, okay. And another big crack. So at least with this, I'm sure I can make one good 7800 between this and my machine. But we'll come back to that. I really am running out of space now. Number 11. It's like retro Christmas. Ooh, what on earth? Oh, Commodore +4. That's cool. Like I said, I've got a C16 or two, but not a +4. And that's obviously what that power supply matches up to. In fact, yes, plugs in right there. Commodore +4, which will also go with the 1551 disk drive. Cool. Well, looks like I need to get into not only the Commodore +4 and C16 TED series of computers, looks like I'll also be getting into MSX computers and this thing. So, like I said, we'll come back to all of this once we've got it all unpackaged. So, our final package, yes, a nice little envelope, number 12. All right, it is a badge. It's a funny badge. Let me show you my floppies Commodore computer, and it's in the shape of a little CRT. I do have to wonder who made this. Is this an officially licensed product? Probably not, but it'd be cool if it was. Well, I guess I have to wear that. All right, well, this is pretty insane. There is a whole bunch of stuff here to look at and obviously a whole bunch of packing material around me. So let me sort all this out a little bit and I guess we'll start back from the beginning and take a look at these things in depth. Okay, let's take a closer look at these items, but I think it's important to stay hydrated. So we probably should start with this one. Now, I'm not going to try and read what that says. It looks to be in Dutch, which makes sense, of course, being from the Netherlands. So I think there's something about malt, perhaps, and caramel. So let's find out. Well, it certainly has a very malty aroma. Ooh. Yeah, that's quite nice. It's fairly cool in here today, so this will keep me warm as well. Good choice. Okay, so the first item was the Commodore 128 Neo. So this is obviously a 128 replica board, and I think it has some minor changes. I can see that the RF modulator actually has space for the components on the board itself, so that's a bit of a difference. It does have a very nice gold finish, so that's always something that adds a little bit of pizzazz, I guess you could say, and a bit of value to these. So I did have a look at the email that Visi sent me, and he did mention that it was a bit of a puzzle, one that he'd like to see me complete. So I guess sometime in the near future I will be building up this board. Obviously there's going to be certain things that I'm going to need to steal from another Commodore 128, like the VDC and the VIC-2E. I guess the MMU and the PLA will also have to come from another board. Most of these other things now have modern replacements. The 6526, I believe there's a couple of people working on replacement ones of those, so perhaps I won't need to pillage them from another board. I guess I could always pillage them from Commodore 64 as well, a non-working one obviously. So yeah, a lot of components to be soldered, but definitely a fun project. I can't say when that's going to happen. Obviously, I'll need to source all the other components first, but yeah, I guess we'll be building a Commodore 128 in the near future. I'll try and put a link to where you can find this board in the video description. I'm pretty sure these are still available, being sold. So yeah, let's pop that over here. Next up, we have the Sony HB-75P MSX computer. So, of course, MSX was mainly sold in Japan, but it did make it out to certain European countries. Don't know if there were any MSX machines sold in Australia, but the MSX is more of a standard, and then you had different manufacturers making their own machines based on that standard. So I guess we should try and power this on. Visi didn't mention in the email what this was, but he mentioned that he briefly tested it and it was working. So let's see if it survived the journey and if it'll work on 240 volts, because in Europe you have 220. So let's see what happens. Well, I think they're mostly 230 now, but anyway, let me find a adapter for this and see what it does. All right, found an adapter. Let's take this off. Plug that in. All right, we're plugged in. It doesn't seem to have a light anywhere on it, so let's hook it up to a display. Now, I'm just going to be using RF because I don't have any of these cables. There's a video output connector here, so I'm guessing that's just composite, and there's an RGB connector, which is just SCART, but a little bit tricky for me to hook up at the moment. So I'm just going to go with good old-fashioned RF into my janky test display. All right, let's see if we can tune this in. And while we wait, in fact, something that's just occurred to me is that looks like a power LED right there, and it's currently off. Oh, we found nothing. That light is definitely off. And just having a look with my power meter, it is drawing nothing at all. So it seems to be completely dead. So maybe it wasn't working to begin with. I don't know. This is definitely going to have to be a repair video, I guess. Well, while we've got this display out, let's take a look at the 7800. So I think this may be working. The power supply has 2 pins, so it's a little bit unusual. Do I have a 7800 power supply? Well, it appears I don't have a 7800 power supply. I've got some for the 2600 and also the 8-bit line of computers, but not the 7800. Seeing as it's almost open because a lot of the case is broken, let's just open it up, power it from the bench supply. There's a screw there, but it feels to be broken, which it is. Here's some broken bits. Let's just do a quick check, see if we can work out which pin is which. Okay, so the pin on my right is ground, so the other pin is going to be our positive supply. What do we need to put in this? Looking up the power supply online, it mentions it takes a 9-volt DC 1 amp supply. So that's pretty easy to get from our benchy. And this whole RF shield is connected to ground all over the place. So let's just hook negative onto there. Probably should make sure the voltage is set correct. Let's just see if there's a better place to get that positive supply clipped onto. Yep, run straight to this ferrite bead here. Cool, that's nice and simple. So negative can go on the RF shield, positive can go on this bead. It's drawing about 630 milliamps at 9 volts. Power this on. I'm pretty sure the 7800 has a built-in game, so we should be able to tune this into something, hopefully. Huh. So we do have something. There's actually audio to go with that as well. Doesn't sound right though. Is that reset? Did any of these reset? Reset should be this button. Let's power that on again. Oh. So it almost sounds like it's getting stuck. Not powering on properly. This time we got no signal. Not happy. Let's try the cartridge. Alright, Ballblazer is in. Ah. So that appears to work. Alright, let's do this. Shouldn't I actually be a ball though? Something doesn't seem right. Either that or I just have no idea how to play Ballblazer. That's entirely possible. So, cartridge works. Yeah, I'm sure there's an inbuilt game as well that does not seem to be happy. So, that's going to be a repair job. Yeah, the case kind of broken. There are some little bits, so I can possibly glue it all back together. And yeah, I've got the other one there, so we'll have a look at both of them in a future video. Let's take a look at this thing, the Hewlett-Packard 200LX. So I assume this is some kind of Palm Pilot that runs BASIC or something. Does it power on? Does it have batteries? Oh yes, and they have leaked. Obviously they've been removed, but looks like it was too late. Ooh, okay. Also a DC input jack at the side here, 12 volts center negative, so maybe we can try that. Put that back in there for now. Alright, cool, 12 volt center negative. It is drawing about 60 milliamps. Oh, it's already on. So it looks like this side of the screen has some kind of issue. There's a big vertical line across it. And every so often it says main battery low and backup battery low. Well, yeah, that's probably not a surprise, but it looks like it at least kind of works. But yeah, I think there's something weird going on with the screen on this side. Enter new date. I don't want two twos. Why does it keep doing that? Alright, yeah. I think there are some major issues going on. Press escape. Can I just skip past that? Name, title, company. Yeah, some of the characters are a bit messed up. Yeah, sure. Everything's perfectly correct. Oh, I'm not allowed to hit Y. Oh, I am allowed to hit Y. Okay. Now what? I think I just turned it off. Main battery very low, press escape. I think that is as far as we... Oh, hang on. Blah, blah, blah. Escape. Welcome to appointment book. Oh, I don't need to make any appointments. Phone. Phone book. Memo pad. It's got Quicken. And Lotus 123. Yeah, definitely some issues with the display on here. Oh, more. Look at all these apps. Is that a game? The squid. Don't walk into the squid. So yeah, there we go. It obviously has quite a number of functions built in, and possibly we could add more to this, but yeah, let's not get too carried away. So I guess we'll need to look at this battery corrosion, try and sort that out. I'm just going to have to replace those contacts entirely there. Well, especially that one is too far gone, I dare say. And yeah, have a look at that internal battery. Got to get the damn batteries out, as some might say. All right, the Commodore Plus 4. Yeah, cool. Keyboard's actually not that bad on these. Yeah, everything looks intact, so that's always a good sign. Guess we check out this power supply, see what it's outputting. So what are we supposed to get? 5 volts DC and 9 volts AC. Now I'm probably going to get higher than 9 volts AC because this is designed for 220 volts and it's 240 here in Australia, so we'll get a little bit high reading on that, but shouldn't be a big deal. Now the pin out, I have no idea. Let's just plug this in, see what happens. Nothing, which is a good thing. Let's test these voltages before we go plugging it into the computer though. So I'm just going to put a little bit of heat shrink tubing over a couple of the pins just so I don't short anything while I'm trying to stick the probes in there. So nothing DC there, but perhaps that's the AC. Nope. Nothing AC either. Aha, 79 ohms. That would seem like a transformer. I think I assumed this plug was wired up so that you plugged it in this way. Is it supposed to go this way? So that probably explains why the MSX didn't work as well. So yes, 5.2, almost 5.3 volts on the DC side. So these ones must be the AC. And being unloaded and designed for 220 volts instead of 240, I imagine we're going to see about 12 volts. All right. 10.2. That's perfectly fine. All right, that is working. So we'll go back to the MSX in a minute because, yeah, I didn't have this plug around the right way. I'm thinking that the way I had it, I was just connecting earth with earth. So that's why nothing exploded and also why nothing worked. Yes, those pins in the middle are just earth pins, so I was connecting absolutely nothing to nothing. What a dickhead. Alright, this thing, oh yes, it does have RF, so let's use that because I'm not sure what the video output is, whether it's the same as Commodore 64 or not, so go with RF again. Alright, RF is connected. Let's see if we get lucky and it's already tuned in. No, possibly not. There it is. Commodore Basic version 3.5, 6671 bytes free. It's a little bit fuzzy, but that's just going to be down to the RF. Let's see if we can access one of the built-in thingamajiggies. Okay, well that's, I guess, the text editor. So I'm completely unfamiliar with the Plus 4, so how do I change to the other functions here? Commodore? Okay, so I don't know if this is working properly. It could just be me not knowing enough about how to use a Plus 4. So I guess we can say this one kind of works, but I need to learn more about my Commodore TED series. Let's go back to the MSX, which I foolishly thought was not working. Plug in RF, plug this in the right way. Ooh, it's already powered on. Ah, it's already tuned in as well. There we go. Sony HB-75P It works. It lives. How do I get to the next thing? Select with cursor. Isn't that the cursor? Okay, I can get into the address book. How do I... Let's reset. There's like a relay in there that clicked. Select with cursor. I'm trying to. Okay, maybe the keys are just a little bit dodgy. Gotta give them a real hard push. Let's go into basic. MSX Basic version 1.0, copyright 1983, Microsoft, 28815 bytes free. Break. Stop. Okay, well, it appears to actually be working, and it's just me that isn't working. Yeah, it definitely needs a cleanup. In fact, that just got stuck down. What's in my schedule? Nothing? Good. So, as for the bitcorder, I guess I'll need to find some software and record it to tape so I can test this thing out and also get the right plugs for this. That should be fun. So yeah, I guess we'll pull this thing apart in a later episode and give the keyboard a proper clean out and try and find some different software to run on this thing. Cool, an MSX. I've always been curious about these things. Yeah, it's kind of, you don't really see them much, especially in Australia. So yeah, this will be fun to check out at some point. So what we have left is the two disk drives, the Commodore 1551. Again, oh, there is a disk in there, hang on. Oh, let's see if we can load a disk off this thing. All right, power on the disk drive. Oh, sounds like it's working. The power LED is definitely on. Power on the +4. All right, so I can hear the disk drive is just constantly spinning. I don't know what the commands are to access the disk drive. Device not present. You'd think that would be device 8 if the other Commodore machines are anything to go by. All right, well, all I'm getting is device not present, and I can hear the motor just constantly spinning. So I think there may actually be an issue with this drive. So yeah, no luck with the 1551, but that just means that's one more thing that we get to repair. Okay, last thing to check out is, of course, the VIC 1541. So for this, I'm just going to use Commodore 64. As I said, you can also use a VIC 20 with these drives, but C64s are just a bit more easier, a bit more familiar for me. All right, let's power the drive on. Sounds okay. Ooh. But the drive motor is also still spinning on this one, and we have flashing light. 2 flashes, 3 flashes. 3 flashes. So that indicates a fault with one of the ICs, I believe. Don't know if it's the ROM chip or one of the vias or something, but yeah, that's going to be another troubleshooting video, I guess. So, well, there goes that drive. Let's just see. I'm really curious to know what was on these discs though. All right, here's a working 1541. Let's give this a go. Let's see if there was anything on these discs and if I'm using the right machine for them. Oh, I've got a flashing drive light. Nope. Does not like these discs. It could just be that they're formatted for something else, or they're not even formatted at all. Let's try this. I'm not sure what that is. If anything, this is likely to be something for the +4. Yeah, we just get file not found. So yeah, I don't know if there's supposed to be anything on these discs. He might have just put them in there just to protect the drive mechanisms when shipping. Alright, so I think that is going to be it for this one. I'll definitely come back and look at all these machines in depth in future videos. Obviously, we're going to have a few repair jobs by the looks of it. There's going to be, obviously, the Commodore 128 NEO build. I'll have to try and start sourcing components for that. And yeah, a few things to learn about, like the MSX and the Commodore +4. I still need to look at my Commodore 16s, so maybe we'll do that together because they're very similar machines. But yeah, certainly a huge amount of stuff to repair, build, look at. So a huge thanks to Visi. This is, yeah, absolutely amazing. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, plenty of content to come out of this, so that's a win for everyone. So a huge thanks to Visi. Thank you to all my patrons who support the channel in whatever way possible. Thank you all for watching, subscribing, liking, leaving comments. Yeah, definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you think about all this stuff. What have I got wrong here, if anything? Like I said, I'm totally unfamiliar with a lot of these other machines, so by all means, let me know. Just be gentle. And yeah, we'll definitely see all of this stuff again in the future. Thank you all for watching. Bye. Phew. That's going to keep me busy. This is a good beer. Good choice. I won't say what time of the day it is because it's very early for beer, but we'll forgive that.